been judged.
Let me show y'all how to hit that Lukombo, Captain Pendant by the way, and so much more. I spent over 10 hours in the practice range alone as soon as Phoenix was available for us partners, and I have learned so much on this hero you wouldn't even believe. This is going to be a very detailed advanced guide for all ranks before Phoenix is even released to the live servers. I promise you she is so much more than just a hella copy with explosions. And yes, I'm in literal free permanent flight in that clip. Now before you get ahead of yourself, you got to make sure her telekinesis burst is set to E, her dark descent is set to right click, and her telepathic illusion is set to left shift. And in addition to all of that, you got to make sure dark descent is set to hold to activate, otherwise you ain't canceling shit. Now to begin, I'll briefly go over what her abilities do because she isn't even out yet, but everybody already got a video on that, so I'll make it quick. However, unlike everyone else, I actually know the numbers and I'm going to tell you them all now. Her passive ties her whole kit together. Every time any ability, primary fire, or melee hits an enemy or a deployable, such as Namor turrets, she applies a stack of spark. Once 3 stacks are applied, an AoE explosion will occur, dealing 44 damage with no fall off, while also healing her for 40 health over 4 seconds for 10 HPS. Her primary fire is pinpoint hit scan, dealing 55 damage, 110 in the head, and applies 2 stacks of spark for a headshot. Regardless of the animation, each melee does 38 damage with a 4-meter range while also applying the spark per hit. This is extremely important for her combos, and I'll get into that later. Telepathic illusion makes her blink 7.5 meters, leaving behind a clone that erupts at her original location, dealing 55 damage, the same as 1 primary fire. Dark Ascent puts her into free flight just like any other flyer and gives her 50% speed boost, exactly the same as Torch's left shift. But you're normally not able to act or cast any abilities during this time. Telekinetic burst hits 4 times with the initial damage coming out on cast, with 3 ruptures which will follow forward. All instances deal 22 damage, totaling 88. The first rupture causes a stun, and the following 2 cause a massive slow. Her ult causes her to become instantly invulnerable, and until she recasts the spell, it will remain so for up to 6 seconds. And after, it should become a straight up predator missile, starting slow and speeding up after 1 second. You can be in the flight state for up to 20 seconds, or if your 400 health is depleted by the enemy. Upon direct impact, the epicenter does 154 damage and also sending out a shockwave, dealing 55 damage through walls in a 60-meter radius. The shockwave breaks all deployables, all over health, and all shields. Both instances can hit a single target, totaling 209 damage. And they both apply a mark, meaning if the enemy already had a spark, or as I like to call it, a little spark mark type shift. A little spark mark type shift, you know what I'm saying, type shift. That means that the damage will total a burst of 253, guaranteeing death for 250 HP heroes. Like deadass, it's gonna have his scans being like,
You are nothing!
Fuck you, man.
I'm coming first!
Yeah, alright, yeah, no, okay, no more jokes, no more basic stuff. Let's get to the real tech, the real stuff. Now, assuming you know the bare minimum of the character, her now E ability causes 3 ruptures after 1 impact burst. But if you E too close or too far from the target, it will cause you to miss the passive proc you get from hitting 1 target 3 times. Now, I know what your low elo ass is saying.
Oh my god, well then they'll just walk out of it. This isn't realistic.
Wrong. The first part of the E stuns, while the next 2 ruptures cause a massive slow on the target. So if you position your E correctly on a target, it guarantees a passive proc every time. It just takes practice, that's it. So after you hit your E in the sweet spot, you then need to primary fire into melee. And then immediately after, you need to tap right click into melee again in order to animation cancel 2 melees into 1, which in turn procs yet another passive explosion. This is another tech that I found that allows you to infinitely loop melees 5,000 times the speed of the normal animation, as you can see here. Just look at the comparisons of the speed of the melees on this group. Damn, that group getting his ass smacked up, bro. What the f? Right after the second melee has been hit, you immediately right click and on the same frame press left shift 2. All these 3 inputs are executed almost simultaneously. Yet another tech I discovered on Phoenix is that her melee can be buffered to all other spells and is uncancelable. I can melee and fly out and it always hits. I can melee and ult and land on the marked target for a guaranteed kill, since the ult hits twice, causing my passive to proc and kill this Luna. And I can melee and left shift, and even though I'm nowhere near the target, it still hits them. Finally, use the immense movement speed from flight to exit the area to whatever safe high ground or corner you're originally off angling from. Mind you, the Luke combo, patent pending, does 340 damage, and that's why I'm doing it on Panther. But as you can see, if it's done to 250 HP heroes, it kills way quicker, to the point where you can actually use the blink to get in, burst them, and then use the rest of your flight meter to get out. Now, if you're saying, but you're gonna die going melee range. You're gonna die in that stupid feathered costume. Calm yourself. A flanker Allfather has thought of it all. Not only does Phoenix have 275 HP, not only does she have constant healing from her passive procs, of which this combo has 2 of. Not only are you immune from the moment you cast your ult until the point you can move again, totaling for almost 12 seconds. But I've tested the speeds and the hitbox, and she's just as elusive as Torch while in flight. And we all know how insanely difficult it is to hit Torch. So if your name is Necros and you're shit talking and harassing me in my own damn chat at 6 AM after I spent over 10 hours in a practice range learning all this shit just for you to say that everything I'm doing is useless because she's gonna play like a mid-range hella anyway, well then your ass is wrong and you have no flanker genes within you whatsoever. I've quite literally transcended with this hero to the point where I made her a perma flyer. But Necros' persecution of the black community clearly knows no bounds.
Necros?
I'm tired of Necros thinking he's like one of us, prancing around, claiming to be one of the blessed. He does not possess the flanker's blessing, nor will he ever. He masquerades as pure, but he is a mere fraud. The moment times got tough, he hung up the mask and did what? He went to the very role he claimed to be incompetent, the very role he curated a digital lynch mob out of. And not only that, but a hit scan support of all things. Hit scan! Hit scan! The natural enemy to the flankerly blessed. No wonder why he wishes for a hero as pure as Phoenix to play as Ella, as he so suggests. Unbelievable. All of us who possess the flanker's blessing need to stand up and speak up against this man's atrocities.
But what if he's right, Luke? I never asked to be flankerly blessed. I never asked to be able to make combos out of nothing. I never knew it would mean hours in the practice range, no new heroes to play, 44 new bugs every day, and friends who all think I'm trash. It's all just a twist of flanker fate, bad luck, a random Necro stream. Easiest decision I ever made.
No! Veriflied! Don't drink the hitscan serum! You're gonna end up just like Necros!
And so what if I do?
Being a flanker is no magic wand. It takes time, effort, talent. And thanks to people like us, everyone can see what true perfection looks like, even if those demons try and tell us otherwise.
Because Luke is obviously a disgusting dog shit Torch show TV, right? You're dog shit. I mean, you're dog shit. You're literally begging to do with me on
No, I'm not, bro. I'm literally not, bro. I don't even want to play with you, dog shit. Fuck you, dogs, bro. Dogs. Fuck you, Luke.
Fuck off! Okay, so here we go. Alright, he spots me. He gets really excited. He's like, I have to kill Necros. I have to kill Necros. Completely fucks up like an idiot. Oh. There is no way you just did that, LukeTheNinja.
Flame off! Flame off! Is this your goat? Is that your goat? Flame off! Flame off! Flame off! The fantastic O and 4. Is this your goat?
Shut the fuck, Luke. Let me see your damage. Luke, you're so fucking bad. Luke, you are the worst player I've ever seen. How are you getting gapped by double fucking kills almost by the Wolverine? How are you so bad?
Now, am I saying you should always be melee range and permanently flank with her? That is precisely what I am saying. You possess no flanker fervor whatsoever. Do you not bleed with the flanker's bless? Nah, but on the real, you should be playing her as a mixture of Psylocke short range off angling and magic mid-fight bruiser tank busting until the opportunity for the hard flanker rises, as it so often does with both of those heroes. Let me show you her optimal highest DPS combo to help your tank's frontline pressure immensely while pushing alongside them. Yo, and stick around so I can show you how to permanently fly on her too. Something no one but me has figured out how to do. Now the inputs for this string is primary, melee, right click, melee, primary, repeat. During this combo, you also replenish your ammunition constantly because of the mechanic within your flight, meaning your uptime is massively increased. This should only be done next to your tanks in the front line to the enemy tanks for the most part. All attacks will always hit while you're trying to aim for the head of the enemy, so you might as well try. You can see here I press right click too often, which causes me to equip my wings and slows down my tempo. Nonetheless, even with body shots on top of that, my DPS is significantly higher than just primary firing. Now this all ties into another tech to again increase her uptime massively through the flight reload. As you can see, holding down flight causes Phoenix to regenerate her ammo, but when I perfectly tap it in between intervals, not only does it regen twice as fast, but I can also use my melee or even shoot in between it because of the previous techs I've shown you. And now finally, before I show you how to become this game's 5th flyer, I want to first show you about—
Me and Luke are tired. We've been in the practice range for nearly 12 hours straight. Necros took all our techs and combos, and he's not even giving us credit. He might not need it, but we do. The Veriflied, the Necrombo, LukeTheNinja is the neck tech. He renamed them both, and I think Luke just showed me strike number 4. Can you not say the N-word for just a minute, so me and Luke can rest?
Hell no, you guys are not saying this. Hello?
Alright, now let the creator of LukeTheNinja show you how to truly do this tech. Normally when using your whole flight meter, the distance you cover is suboptimal. But by letting go of your flight periodically and using the upward draft to stall and move forward, you will go over twice the distance. And additionally, and more importantly, since you cannot act during this ability, while the upwards draft is lifting you up, you use this to become a pseudo flyer and stay out of divers heroes' reach for multiple seconds while quickly being able to dispatch them. Let's take a really quick look at the difference between Hela and Phoenix's fall off, considering they're so alike, apparently. Okay, so at 10 meters, Phoenix can 2-shot in the head with her passive explosion. Alright, looks like Hela can do the exact same thing with no passive. Alright, let's line up at the 15-meter mark here. Ooh, and it looks like Phoenix's breakpoints have already changed with passive damage. Alright, Hela lining up the 15-meter mark here. Ooh, and she's still getting the 2-tap in the head. Alright, let's turn this back 16 meters. What? Alright, let's just go as far as we— What the fuck? You can't even see the bot anymore, bro. Honestly, I might just have to concede this one to Necros. They seem to have very similar fall off. I'm sorry I even said anything. And now, for what everyone has been waiting for.
Is there more?
There's more.
Oh, wait, how do you even figure this out? I don't. Wait, how are you just like permanently in the air?
I'm flying. Come.
What the? How do you even find this shit out?
You gotta fly. You gotta fly, girl.
Bro, what is that? How are you even doing that?
I'm bright like a star.
Alright, bro, I'll stop edging. In order to do the permanent flight tech, you need to master the timing of the melee counts with tap-in flight. When timed perfectly, and I mean frame perfectly, to the point where you need to melee and tap fly so their activations come out almost simultaneously, causing the game to not know what to do, as the Phoenix Force Ghost is supposed to be on your back and attack forward at the same time, so it causes it to bug out and put Phoenix in permanent flight while being able to use all of her abilities and primary fire freely. Strangely enough, her abilities flow so well in the air, it almost feels like she was intended to be like this. Her E is so much more consistent and easier to hit from an upward angle. And when I say this is a very difficult bug to replicate, now I mean it is very difficult. Over 4 hours of trying to replicate this after the first time I did it by accident, and I finally got it again. And I was trying to teach my friend how to do it for over 2 hours. And this guy was using macros too, and he still couldn't get it, not even one at a time. However, when you get used to the timing, it gets way more easier to replicate. I've done it over 20 times now, and I can do it on command, but initially it took a while to get to that point. Guys, he's about to take his first flight.
There you are.
Because you are not on fire. Because if you were, you would be a flyer.
Yo, now you're actually rage baiting me. Like I'm getting triggered.
I'm tired of your grounded ass. You're looking so damn flat. You need to raise your 3D spectrum. Come up here and meet me in heaven. I'm sick of you, you little poo. Oh God, you walkers too.
Nah, cause you low-key, that song was low-key. You low-key cooked. Like, you hit.
Oh, Veriflied, you should consider a rebrand. Cause you know you'll never make it off the land. Perhaps you should be named Very Stand. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
That was a bar, like I can't even. That was insane.